As NFL offenses are running more 11 personnel and even 4 wide receiver sets, defenses are counteracting by running more nickel packages. And for those who don't know, in a base defense, you have 4 defensive backs out there. But in a nickel package, you are substituting one of those defensive linemen or linebackers out for an extra 5th defensive back. Now, what this does is obviously you're counteracting those extra receivers on the field, giving yourself that boost in pass coverage. Now, there's one team that has taken this to an absolute extreme. It is the Buffalo Bills, who ran nickel packages over 90% of the time last year, which led the NFL and is one of the highest marks in the past decade. And throughout the first 4 weeks of this NFL season, it's been more of the same. Now, what's remarkable is the fact that they've still remained one of the best run defenses in the NFL, because typically in these lighter nickel or dime packages where you have the extra defensive backs and less heavy-hitting linebackers and defensive linemen, offenses will try to counteract with more running plays, try to punish you on the ground. Yet the Bills have remained one of the best run defenses in the NFL. Now, a lot of people will point to their elite defensive line and all the great linebackers they have, all fair points, but I think a key X factor to this is truly their nickel corner, one of the most underrated defensive players in the NFL, if you ask me, and that's Taron Johnson. Today, I'm going to dive into the film room, take a look at his game, how truly versatile he is as a player, and how he impacts this Buffalo Bills defense. So let's get to it. When you see Taron Johnson's frame, 5'11", 192 pounds as a slot corner, you're probably not anticipating much from him against the run in the box. But this is an area of his game where you'd be very, very pleasantly surprised. And this is a great example that we can pull from week 3 of this season. Johnson is going to ride with the flow of this run, but eventually he diagnoses the weak side run here from Chase Edmonds. He's going to stay right in his gap, very disciplined. And then he's going to make a fantastic tackle here. Slips right under the blocker, trips Chase Edmonds up for a very minimal gain. And there are plenty of examples of like this littered all over his film. Obviously, at Johnson's size, there is going to be some deficiencies for him against the run, going one-on-one with some of these bigger blockers. But luckily, Johnson makes up for a ton of that by taking great angles, staying disciplined against the run, being aggressive in pursuit to the football at around the line of scrimmage when he sees fit, which can often make up for that lack of size and make him look and play a lot bigger than he actually is. But this is an example of him going up against one of the best fullbacks in football in Pat Ricard, a guy who's a lot bigger than Johnson. But again, Taron just maintains that outside leverage, and he takes a fantastic angle here. He times this up perfectly against this run, because you don't want to attack downfield to the line of scrimmage right here, right? Because then now you're not maintaining that outside leverage. You've still got to flow with the kind of the bodies here, because this is an outside run. This is kind of a stretch play here. So you can't just immediately shoot down to the line of scrimmage, or you're giving up that outside leverage. But Johnson just times this up perfectly, takes an awesome angle, completely slips right past Ricard, and helps, again, shave this off to a very minimal gain. And here's an example of that aggressiveness in pursuit towards the line of scrimmage that I was talking about. Here, Johnson sees an open gap, and he's going to shoot it. He goes from 0 to 100 in an absolute second, in a split second. And as soon as this play starts to develop, he sees it and he goes. It's beautiful. He definitely gets a bit of a boost from a block in the side here. That kind of just propels him into the running back. But nonetheless, what I really just want to see is the reaction time here. Just the ability. As soon as he sees this handoff, he's shooting from 0 to 100 into this gap. And that's why I say there are instances where Johnson isn't even just winning with angles and whatnot. There are times where he legitimately shoots a gap really quick. He looks, with the way, how aggressive he's playing and how hard he'll hit some of these running backs. He legitimately looks like a linebacker out there at times. So it's not only just angles and run fits, which he does fantastic, but sometimes it's that 0 to 100 hitting, gaps, aggressive in pursuit that Johnson does very well at the same time. If I was an opposing offensive coordinator going up against this Buffalo Bills defense, and I had a couple screenplays that I wanted to implement, I would wait for a time where Taron Johnson is on the weak side. If this is a screen going field side, I want Taron Johnson on the weak side and vice versa. Johnson is awesome against the screen game, and I know this is a bit more of a minor detail, but I felt like I'd be doing him a disservice if I didn't at least mention it. He can manhandle receivers in one-on-one blocking situations, which we saw a little bit in week 1. He blew up a screenplay, and he just completely took over Allen Robinson in that one-on-one blocking situation. But here against the Miami Dolphins, he reads this and diagnoses the screen coming as soon as the ball is snapped. As soon as he sees this receiver, he's lined up across, start to run outside, clearly running some sort of rub route to try to get Tyreek Hill some open space to operate with behind the line of scrimmage for the screen pass. I mean, Johnson sees it, he diagnoses it, he fires downhill, and just breaks this play up. This was a 3rd and long situation. Johnson makes the play. Just how quickly he diagnoses this was extremely impressive. Now, this is where Johnson's overall versatility just comes all together. Obviously, I just talked about how he can fit the run like a linebacker, and in today's NFL, we have seen more and more play action. Teams love to try to put a bind and put stress on these second-level defenders, which in most cases are linebackers. So Johnson brings that aspect of a linebacker against the run, but at the same time against the pass, he also brings great coverage skills as well. He's extremely quick. If he has to recover to the flat, he can do so. He had one great play against the Rams where he kind of came inside to carry the linebacker real quick before that, the tight end real quick before that tight end got vertical, and then he made an awesome recovery to the flat. But nonetheless, he's just great in coverage. And against the play action game, you are not fooling Taron Johnson. You aren't. He's going to go in for a run fit. You'll see it on this play. He's going to run fit here in case this is an actual handoff. And as soon as he sees the bootleg, as soon as he sees this is a fake handoff, he's going to get into coverage. They trust him in robot technique. They trust him to do all sorts of these things. So really, if it's a run, you've got a linebacker on the field. If it's a pass, you've got yourself a cornerback. That is what is so important with Taron Johnson's versatility, and it really shines against the play-action game because he's so quick to recover, because he can do both things so well. And here you're talking about a Rams team where the Bills did a fantastic job taking away the crossing routes against the play action, against the bootleg game, which is a staple of the Sean McVay offense. And here, Taron Johnson plays a key role in that. He sees he sees Stafford rolling out to the right. Johnson kind of keeps him at bay while also creeping backwards to keep out. I believe that's Allen Robinson running the crossover over the middle of the field to keep that in check until his safety gets downhill, gets downfield to help out with that crosser, and it leads to Stafford just running out of bounds, getting ran down on this play. But that is really where his versatility shines. Against the play action, you're not putting Johnson in a bind. Whether you run the ball or throw it, he's going to be there to make a play. Johnson truly brings an array of high skills to the football field, from fitting the run like a linebacker, his quick ability to react and change speeds, his awesome short coverage ability in zone coverage, whether that's in the flats, the hooks, the curls, defending the screen game. I didn't even get to mention the fact that the Bills will occasionally disguise coverages with Johnson. They'll show a one high shell look, and then they'll drop Johnson back from the slot all the way into a deep half of the field into cover 2. So there's just so many different things you can do with Johnson, and he's truly a key cog as to why the Bills can run nickel 24/7, yet still be one of the best run defenses in the NFL, while also getting that boost in pass coverage, because Johnson is almost like the best of both worlds. If it's a run, he'll give you that ability as a linebacker. If you're playing the pass, well, he's going to be locked down in those flats, the hooks, the curls, as I was just talking about. But that's going to do for today's video. My name's Aidan Maher. I hope you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel for content just like this coming out each and every week. We've also got a Patreon page where we're making people tons of money every single day. I can assure you it's a winning investment for everybody involved. We all like making money. So subscribe to the Patreon. The link is in the description. But until next time, I'll see you guys.